Hey guys, my name is Andrew Perlott with rawfoodhealth.net, and today we're going to bust a particularly persistent myth, and that is that if your blood sugar is rising, if you've got type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes, or if you just think, oh, I ate too much sugar, it was too much sugar and my blood sugar spiked, that really that sugar is the factor to blame. So I'm going to eat a huge meal of fruit today, about somewhere in the ballpark of 11 to 1200 calories of bananas. That's about 308 grams of carbohydrates. And we're going to see what happens to my blood sugar levels. So, in order to know what this huge meal of fruit is going to do to my blood sugar levels, I need to first know where they are now. I am going to test what's called my fasting blood sugar level. I have not eaten anything today. It's still morning. I've gotten up a few hours ago. It's time for me to eat something. So, this is a glucometer. It's what diabetics usually use to test their blood sugar levels, and works well even if you're not diabetic. So I just tested my blood sugar levels, and I've got 78 milligrams per deciliter of blood, and this is a pretty standard reading. My blood sugar in the mornings usually ranges anywhere between 74 and maybe like 81, 82. But usually in the 70s. So this is a very healthy fasting blood sugar reading. All right, so now that we know that I have a healthy fasting blood sugar level, and that despite the fact that I eat a raw food diet where it just tons of fruit, tons of sugar is pouring into my bloodstream, that I'm still healthy, let's see what happens to it after I eat a large meal of fruit. So this is probably somewhere around 1100 calories, ballpark figure. And that's probably about 308 grams of carbohydrates. A lot of sugar by the standards of most people. So let's see what happens to me. It's now been 2 hours since my large meal of bananas. Actually, I ended up having 2 bananas and a persimmon after that. Still a little hungry, but it's been 2 hours since I initially ate that meal. And 2 hours is generally considered the time frame in which it takes whatever you're digesting to hit your blood sugar. So all that sugar from that banana, all those carbohydrates just got dumped into my blood sugar. Now, do you imagine that I have a huge blood sugar spike, that I'm now in like some diabetic range? I'm not. Even though I've just ate a huge meal of sugar, I probably have healthier blood sugar levels than the average American. So let's test that contention. "98 milligrams per deciliter of blood." This is an extremely healthy reading. This is pretty much as close to ideal as you're going to get. Personally, from my experience, the best athletic performance comes in the high 90s and low 100s. This is exactly where I want to be for optimal function in my day. And this is after a huge meal of fruit. So if there are people out there that are like, well, how come my blood sugar isn't that awesome? Why am I eating half the amount of sugar as Andrew, and I've got in the high hundreds, or you're closer to 200, whatever the case may be? Well, there's a good explanation for this, and it comes from a misunderstanding about the root cause of high blood sugar levels. So let's talk about that a little bit. Do yourself a favor and get your blood sugar levels checked periodically. About 1 in 3 Americans is in this range of pre-diabetes and is undergoing damage, and another 10% are diabetic. This study looked at A1C levels, which is an average of your blood sugar levels over a 3-month period, and compared it to various rates of mortality and disease.
The study found that the higher your blood sugar levels go, the greater your risk of death. Those averaging anything over 97 milligrams per deciliter had a much greater risk of dying and developing diseases. Millions of Americans and people in the developed world have elevated blood sugar levels, and they're simply going to die early as a result. And their doctors tell them they should avoid sugar and avoid carbohydrates. And yet, look at me. For the last 8 years or so, I've been dumping unbelievable quantities of sugar compared to the average American into my system, and yet I am in fantastic health. My blood sugar is perfect. There's a disconnect here. What is it? This study put people on either 45% or 85% of their calories from sugar diets, and what they found was the more sugar they gave them, the better their insulin sensitivity and the lower their blood glucose levels got, their blood sugar levels got. This review came to similar conclusions. Low fat, high carbohydrate is the best choice if you want maximum insulin sensitivity. The problem is not too much sugar, too many carbohydrates, it's too much fat, it's all the olive oil and vegetable oils, it's the meat, the dairy, the eggs, the avocados, the other fatty foods that people eat that clog their blood with fat and impair the movement of sugar through their bloodstream and into their cells, thus backing up the sugar and causing high blood sugar levels. What is probably the most effective program for reversing diabetes was studied with a diet that had only 10% of its calories coming from fat, which is what I suggest for a raw diet, and it combined it with exercise. And by the end of this study, almost all the patients were off their insulin and diabetes medication. This is unheard of. It is incredibly effective.
So guys, you don't have to fear sugar. Sugar is good for you. Sugar helps your blood sugar levels. It's the fat that you really need to deal with. If you are currently someone with high blood sugar levels, if you want to conquer that, then a low-fat, raw vegan diet is the best option that you could have. If you want to know how to do that, check out my book, Raw Food Weight Loss and Vitality. I've helped using this program and through my coaching program helped a number of diabetics get off their insulin. It's not necessary for anyone to be suffering with high blood sugar levels. It's their diet and exercise and lifestyle. You can change it all. Diabetes is an option. High blood sugar levels are an option. Take care of that. Take care of yourself and find the fix. Please like this video and share it with your friends. Let me know what you think. See you later.